So we're at Nmap Advanced Port Scans. So TCP Null Scan, Fin Scan, and Xmas Scan. These three things does pretty much the same thing. It will send by tweaking the flags a little, setting, for example, in the Null Scan, we're setting the no flag. We're setting all flag bits to 0, and when we send it to the host port, the host, and when we scan the port, if the port is open, there will be no response. So, and if the port is closed, we'll get a reset ACK packet. So what does this help us? It tells us one thing, two things actually. If we get a flag, if we get a response, then the port is closed. And if we didn't get a response, then the port is either open or is filtered by the firewall, right? And same thing goes for Fin Scan and Xmas Scan, except Fin Scan is setting the Fin flag to 1, and Xmas Scan is setting the Fin, finish, and urgent flags simultaneously. I guess, kind of like a Christmas tree. So that's where that name's from, I guess. So, question: in a no scan, how many flags are set to 1? In a no scan, 0, none of them. In a Fin Scan, how many flags set to 1? So there's 1, only 1 flag. In a Xmas Scan, there are 3. So once both are ready, open the terminal and use Nmap to launch a Fin Scanning. Okay. So we do sudo Nmap. Oh, all this scan has to be run by using the root privilege. So you have to do sudo, or you have to run it as a root. Well, in this case, I don't have to do sudo then. Nmap -sn a Fin Scan, so there's -sf against the target machine, which is this. Run it. And how many ports appears as open filter? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. Repeat scan using no scan. Should be the same, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. Come on. Hello. Alright. TCP Maimon Scan. I don't know even how to call. So in Maimon Scan, Fin ACK bits are set, and it will not work on most of the modern networks. So something good to know: in Maimon Scan, how many flags are set to? TCP ACK window and custom scan. So TCP ACK scan, when you send an ACK packet to a host, you are expected to get a reset packet back, and it doesn't matter if the port is open or is closed, you're gonna get a reset packet. The only reason that you didn't get any response is because the firewall sitting between filter out your packet. So it's helpful to give in the sense of getting the information of the firewall rule. Same thing happened to Windows Scan, but Windows Scan is very system dependent. So it might work on some system and it might not work on some system. Custom scan, so we're allowed to tweak in the flag by using this option -- scan flags. It's important to know that just because a firewall is not blocking a specific port, it doesn't necessarily mean that the service is listening on that port. ACK and Windows scans are exposing the firewall rules, not a service. In TCP Windows Scan, how many flags are set? And there's just one. We decided to experiment with the custom TCP. What with the reset flag? So that's gonna be RST. New port is not allowed. I have to make sure that you have to. Once both are ready, open terminal. So we have to terminate the machine from task 2. How? Like this. And go back to here. Restart this machine. And we'll wait. We will wait. Okay, machine's ready. Copy this address. Do a Nmap scan. Make sure we are root. Nmap -s. We're doing an ASK scan to this IP address. How many ports appear on filter? Host seems stale. Maybe have to give it a few more minutes. 10.65.45.85. We're getting response. Interesting. So it's up. Map -s A 10.65 145.85. All of them are on filter. Thousand. All of them are on filter. Let's do it. 10.65 145.85. Huh. Now it's different. 4 of them. Interesting. So around sudo is different. I thought we were root though. Let's try that one more time without sudo. Okay, this time we got the same result. So maybe just have to give it a few more minutes for it to spin up the virtual machine. What is the new port number that appear? 22, 25, 80, 443. Yeah, 443, I think HTTPS. No? Oh. Yeah, HTTPS. Is there any service behind the newly discovered port number? Yes. Capital Y? Oh yeah, I forgot. Because we are running -SA. It could be just because, we don't get any response. Just because we were able to reach the port doesn't the host doesn't mean that the port is open or closed. It only says the firewall doesn't have the rule to block this packet. So if we go to open up Firefox, go to localhost 443, there's nothing. So the answer is nah. Next, spoofing and decoys. So, spoofing and decoys. Spoofing. So you're sending your packet to the host, but the host, instead of sending it back to your IP address, is send it to another IP address, spoofed IP address that you designate. That's a spoofing. This will only work when you are able to see the traffic that's been sent on the local network. If you are not able to see it, it's useless. But one workaround, one way to make this useful is by using decoy. So you have different decoy 1 to different spoof IP address, but you mix your real IP address in those target like this. So it's using Nmap with 2 decoy IP address, spoofed IP address, and you also include your IP address. The purpose of this is to make the scan appear to be coming from many different IP addresses, so the attacker's IP address will be lost among them. So you become invincible, in some way. Question: what do you need to add to the command sudo to make it coming from source IP from here? So you do dash, I think dash D. It's not dash D, dash S, spoofed, I guess. So dash D is you want to do decoy, dash S is just spoofed. What do you need to add to the command to make the scan appear as coming from the source IP, these two, in addition to your IP? So you would do dash D and these two IP. With me. Dash A. So the 2 IP with me, which is my own IP. Okay. Fragmented packet. So fragmented packet, there's some technique that we can use to confuse the firewall and IDS, which is fragmented packet. So basically we're chunking the original packet into smaller pieces. We do this to confuse the firewall. This technique is called evasion. So basically we just want to evade the watch from the firewall and IDS. So we do this by using dash F. So when you put a dash F in, the Nmap will chunk the packet with each of the fragmentation as a multiple of 8. If you put 2 F flag, it's gonna be a multiple of 16. So, question: if the TCP segment has a size of 64, when 2F been used, how many IP fragments will you get? So yeah, so 64 divided by 16, 64 divided by 16 is 4. Next, idle/zombie scan. So this is another stealthy scan, right? In the idle/zombie scan, the attacker will scan the machine, the target, without ever using its own attacker IP. And for this scan to work, there are two important scenarios. There are two important requirements. One, there has to be an idle machine. Second, the idle machine has to have some sort of incremented IP ID. So for example, if I send a packet to this zombie IP, it will send back its current IP ID and increment it by 1. So I know whenever there's a successful packet. So how it works is first you send the IP, first you send a packet to the zombie IP, and it will send back with its current IP ID with the reset packet. Now with that IP ID, you spoof that zombie IP, right? You send the packet to the machine IP, the target, and then since you're using a spoofed IP, the target will send a packet reset packet to the zombie IP, assuming the port is closed, right? If the port is closed, you will send a reset packet to the zombie IP, and that's it. Nothing will get sent back. That's all. And if the target port is open, instead of sending back a reset packet, it will send a SYNACK packet to the zombie IP. And zombie IP doesn't know what's going on because it didn't establish a connection with the target, so it will send back a reset packet from there with the ID incremented by 1. So how is this useful to us? Well, in the final step, the attacker will send another SYNACK packet to the idle host, which is a zombie. And if the IP ID got incremented by 1, then we know that this machine is this port on this machine is open. If not, then we know the port is closed. Oh, lastly, the idle host cannot be busy. If that is busy, then all the return IP ID will be useless, right? Because it has to be idle for it to work. So we can know that if that IP ID got incremented. So question, you discover a really used network printer with the IP, you can decide to use that idle scan. What argument would you add to your Nmap? So yeah, so that's over here, right? You can do -si. So do -si with the IP address. Find the file. Yep. So more details. So if you wanna get more reasoning from the Nmap, there are a few ways, right? You can do that --reason. So essentially, it will returns a reasoning why Nmap in this port is open. Or you can do verbose mode with -v, or even more so with -v, for even more verbosity. You can also do a -d, which is a debug mode, or -d for even more, debugging mode, I guess. So question. Start terminal. So run this in the virtual machine. Nmap -ss-f for reason in mode to then the 65.179.170. So what is the reason provided for the stated port being open? Yeah, so I guess for which one? For which port? Didn't say which port though. Let's try this one. Okay. Summary. Oh, that's nice. So here's a summary of what we went through. Null scan, fin scan, Xmas scan, Maimon scan, TCP Idle Scan, Windows scan, everything. The suite. Check. I will see you in the next room.